Have you ever stood in the bread aisle at the grocery store staring at dozens of loaves, wondering, which one should I pick? And maybe you thought bread is bread, right? But the truth is, that one slice of bread, something that seems so ordinary, might actually be the smallest thing. That makes the biggest difference in your health. Now I want you to picture, this Harvard Medical School ran a massive, serious study. It followed over 93,000 people over the age of 60 for 20 years. And what they discovered truly gave me pause. Just by choosing the right kind of bread, people lived an average of 7 years longer. Not only that, they cut their risk of heart disease by nearly half. 7 years. Let that sink in. What would you do with 7 more years of healthy life? Would you walk your grandkids to school? Take a road trip across the western U.S. with your spouse? Or simply wake up each morning with enough strength to brew your coffee and sit quietly in the morning sun? I had a patient once, a sweet older lady, who told me, "Doctor, I've eaten white bread my whole life. And now you're telling me it's bad." The truth is, after 60, our bodies change. We don't digest like we used to. Our digestive enzymes decrease. Blood sugar regulation becomes trickier. What felt totally normal in your 40s could actually be harming you in your 60s. As a doctor, I don't just write prescriptions. I share stories. I offer real, doable changes. Because I want you to feel well, not just survive, but truly live. And sometimes, that starts with something as simple as the kind of bread you eat. So what kind of bread will you choose today? Now let's talk about one of my favorite kinds of bread for health and for flavor: sourdough. Imagine this. It's a quiet morning. You toast a slice of sourdough. The crust is golden crisp. The inside is soft, slightly tangy. The smell fills your kitchen. You sit down with a hot cup of tea. No rush, no stress, just peace. That's not just breakfast. It's a choice for calm, for balance, for better aging. One of my patients, Joe, he's 68, once told me, "Doc, I just want to eat something that doesn't make my stomach bubble for hours." We tried removing dairy, cut back on coffee. But the biggest difference? Replacing his soft white bread with a slice of local artisan sourdough. So what makes sourdough so special, especially after 60? It's all in how it's made. It's naturally fermented, no commercial yeast, no chemicals. That long, slow fermentation helps break down the gluten and starches, making it so much easier to digest, especially for older adults. If you often feel bloated, heavy, or constipated after meals, sourdough might be a simple and natural fix. And it gets better, this fermentation also lowers the amount of gluten, which helps reduce irritation in your gut. Plus, it acts like a prebiotic. That means it feeds the good bacteria in your gut. And as you may know, after 60, your gut health becomes directly tied to your immune system, energy, even mood. Sourdough also has a lower glycemic index than regular white or whole wheat bread, so it won't spike your blood sugar. If you're managing diabetes or just want more stable energy through the day, this can be a game changer. I know many people think, at my age, I just need food that's soft and easy. But honestly, the food you eat still has the power to either heal you or hurt you every single day. So if you're looking for one small shift that creates big change, try sourdough. Look for the kind made by hand, fermented slowly, with only 3 ingredients: flour, water, and salt. No additives, no shortcuts. And one morning soon, when your belly feels light, your mind feels clear, and you feel just a little more at ease, you'll understand why one humble slice of bread might be the beginning of something better. Have you tried sourdough before? If yes, let me know what you thought. And if not, maybe it's time to give it a try. Vitamin C, by the way, is like your body's natural immune shield. When your body absorbs nutrients like B12 and vitamin C more effectively, your memory and immunity start showing up like reliable old friends there when you need them most. I always tell my patients, you don't need to change the whole world. Just start with what you put on your plate each day. So, if you're tired of breads that leave you bloated, your blood sugar swinging like a pendulum, try switching to sprouted grain bread. No need to overthink it. No need to eat a ton. Just toast one slice each morning, maybe top it with some almond butter or a few slices of banana. And soon enough, you'll feel the difference not just in your belly, but in a subtle peace that rises from the inside out. Are you willing to give it a try? Have you ever noticed that sometimes the most ordinary things, like a slice of bread, might be quietly shaping your health every single day? I still remember one morning a woman named Rose. She was 72, came into my office and asked, "Doctor, I eat breakfast every day, but I still feel tired, foggy and bloated. What am I doing wrong?" We sat down and walked through her routine. Turns out she started each day with a couple slices of soft white bread slathered in butter. I suggested a small shift switch to 100% whole grain seeded bread. You know, the kind where you can actually see the pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds, chia seeds sprinkled on top like a little garden blooming in the oven. 3 weeks later, she came back completely changed. "I don't know what it is, Doc," she told me, "but I feel sharper, my digestion's regular, and I don't feel those mid-morning cravings anymore." I smiled because I knew those tiny seeds she barely noticed. They were the quiet little warriors helping her age with strength. Whole grain seeded bread is one of those overlooked superfoods for folks over 60. It's not just whole grain, it's enhanced with powerful ingredients, omega-3 rich seeds, antioxidants, vitamin B6 magnesium, and selenium. Studies show people who eat this kind of bread daily can lower their risk of death by 47% and live an average of 4.7 years longer. But to me, what matters even more isn't just living longer, it's living better. The fiber in this bread doesn't just keep you regular, it's like a quiet guardian. It helps manage cholesterol, smooths out blood sugar swings, and keeps you feeling full without the snack attacks. And those omega-3s, think of them like oil for your joints and memory. You don't have to take fish oil to get them. Sometimes one slice of the right bread is enough. So, here's something I'd love for you to try. Next time you're at the store, pause in the bread aisle. Don't just grab the loaf you always do. Pick one up. Read the label. Look for the words 100% whole grain. Notice the seeds you can see and feel with your fingers. Then bring it home. Make it part of your morning. You don't have to change everything. Just one slice a day can be a quiet little gift to your heart, your brain, and your future. Because aging isn't about enduring. It's about living fully and well. Don't you agree? Let me start with a simple question. When was the last time you had a slice of bread that actually felt good for your body? Not just tasted good, but made you feel like you were taking care of yourself. One of my patients, Mary, 67 years old, said to me during a routine checkup, "Doctor, I'm not looking for some extreme diet. I just want a breakfast that warms my belly without sending my blood sugar on a roller coaster." I smiled and told her one small shift that could make a huge difference. Try switching to rye bread. Have you ever heard of it? It's not flashy. It's not as popular as soft white bread or sweet pastries, but it quietly brings some truly powerful benefits, especially once we hit our 50s and our bodies stop bouncing back the way they used to. Rye bread is rich in a soluble fiber called avenanthramide. Sounds fancy, I know, but its job is simple and important. It helps lower LDL, the bad cholesterol that quietly builds up in our arteries year after year, leading to heart attacks and strokes. But that's not all. Rye keeps you fuller longer. It digests slower than white bread, so your blood sugar stays more stable after eating, especially helpful if you're pre-diabetic or just want to avoid creeping weight gain as you age. Picture this. You have a slice of rye toast with almond butter, a cup of tea, no bloating, no surprise hunger by 10 a.m., and your body says, "Thank you for treating me kindly today." And one more thing, something most people suffer in silence: constipation. The older we get, the more our gut slows down. But the fiber in rye bread helps things move naturally. No more sluggish, uncomfortable mornings. No more relying on laxatives to feel okay. Look, I know habits are hard to change, but if one small change like picking a different loaf of bread could help support your digestion, your blood sugar, your heart, and even your energy, why not try Life After 50 isn't about slowing down. It's about living smarter. Every meal is a quiet conversation with your body. And maybe, just maybe, rye bread is your way of saying, "I care about you." And now, imagine a peaceful morning. Sunlight filters through the curtains. You brew a cup of coffee. Place a slice of whole-grain oat bread in the toaster. Soon the air fills with the cozy scent of toasted oats. And right there, you've just given your body a gift it will thank you for. Today, I want to talk about what I like to call one of the quiet companions of healthy aging whole-grain oat bread. I'll never forget a patient of mine, Paul, 66, who once joked, "Come on, doc, I don't eat that bad. Just white bread and butter for breakfast." But a few lab results later, high cholesterol, spiking blood sugar. We sat down and reviewed his habits. I didn't ask him to give up bread. I just asked him to switch the kind he was eating. A few weeks later, he came back saying, "I didn't think changing one slice of bread would do much, but wow. I'm less hungry, my stomach feels lighter, and I just feel better overall." So, what makes oat bread so different? For starters, oats are packed with beta-glucan, a special kind of fiber that helps lower LDL cholesterol, the bad kind. That's key once you're past 50 and thinking about long-term heart health. Oats also help keep blood sugar steady, so you're not crashing an hour after breakfast. For anyone managing prediabetes or type 2 diabetes, this is quietly powerful. And here's something really unique. Oats contain avenanthramide, a rare antioxidant almost exclusive to oats. It protects your heart and slows down cellular aging. You may not feel the difference overnight, but over time, your body will thank you. Lastly, oat bread is soft, easy to digest, and gentle on sensitive stomachs. If you tend to get bloated or sluggish after eating, this could be your answer. I always remind my patients, health doesn't come from big, dramatic changes. It comes from the small, consistent choices we make every single day. So if one slice of bread could help you feel lighter, stronger, and more balanced, why not start tomorrow morning? Are you open to giving it a try? I understand that feeling. Many of my patients have felt the same way. And I don't blame them, because the label gluten-free sounds so convincing, so healthy. But the truth isn't always as simple as that sticker on the outside. There was one patient, Linda, 62 years old, no gluten sensitivity at all, who told me she started eating gluten-free bread every day simply because her friends did. But soon, she began feeling tired, sleeping poorly, aching joints. She looked at me and asked, "I'm not eating anything bad, Doc. I just switched to gluten-free, didn't I?" Here's what I want you to really hear. Gluten-free doesn't automatically mean good for everyone. Many commercial gluten-free breads today, especially those made from refined starches like white rice potato starch or tapioca, have a very high glycemic index. That means they spike your blood sugar after just one slice. And the sad truth is, they usually have almost no fiber and very little real nutrition. The result? You eat a slice, but your body treats it like sugar. Blood sugar surges, then crashes. You feel tired, you feel sleepy, your mind fogs, and over time this pattern can raise LDL cholesterol and fuel invisible inflammation. That's what worsens sleep, stiffens joints, and clouds your energy. Now imagine this: you choose gluten-free bread because it seems healthy, only to wake up drained, inflamed, and at risk for diabetes or high cholesterol. Is that really worth it? I'm not saying every gluten-free food is bad. For people with celiac disease, it's absolutely necessary. But if you don't have gluten intolerance or digestive issues, you don't need to treat gluten like an enemy. Health after 60 doesn't come from trendy labels. It comes from understanding. Next time you see a loaf labeled gluten-free, pause. Ask yourself, am I choosing this because I understand it, or simply because I'm afraid? Living well isn't about mimicking others. It's about tuning into your body and choosing what genuinely nourishes it. Are you choosing wisely for yourself? Please share your story. I'm always eager to hear it. Remember that morning not long ago, or even today, when you grabbed a slice of soft white bread smeared on some butter or jam and quickly ate it to get on with your day. Seemed harmless, right? But I want you to pause and think. Each slice of white bread you eat day after day, it's a slice of your health slowly slipping away. Quietly, gradually. I once had a patient, John. He was 64, disciplined, kind, but he often told me, "Doc, I get so weary mid-morning. Right after I eat, I feel hungry and drained." We reviewed his breakfast: 2 slices of white bread, margarine, a cup of coffee. That routine had been with him for years, but that same seemingly harmless routine was feeding his issues: unstable blood sugar, poor memory, bloated belly, irregular digestion. Have you ever felt that way? The truth is, white bread, though familiar and convenient, is made from refined flour, stripped of all bran and germ. You're essentially eating nearly empty carbs, no fiber, no vitamins, no antioxidants, just disguised sugar. Once you digest it, blood sugar spikes and then plummets. Within an hour or two, hunger hits again. Energy dips. And here's the kicker: your brain also suffers. A 2022 study in diabetes care found that older adults who regularly eat white bread experience cognitive decline much faster. Plus, with no fiber, white bread slows down your digestion, leading to constipation and bloating, especially if your gut is already less resilient. And it doesn't make you feel full, so you tend to eat more. Over time, that can pack on belly fat, the kind that's risky for heart and blood pressure health. I'm not saying you must never eat white bread again, but you must understand this is not food that nourishes. It's the kind of food you reserve for rare moments, not the core of your daily diet. Start with a small shift. Choose bread that has fiber seeds and visible whole grain life inside. And soon your body will thank you with clearer thinking, lighter digestion, and a longer, healthier life. Have you ever eaten potato bread and thought, well, at least it's not white bread? It sounds more natural. I used to think the same. And many patients did too. Potato sounds wholesome in many minds. Potatoes are natural, comforting food. So we assume potato bread must be better. But let me ask you to pause and look more closely. One slice of potato bread, seemingly gentle, can actually contain 2 to 3 teaspoons of hidden sugar. It doesn't taste overly sweet, but it's there. And for someone over 60, just that slice can skyrocket blood sugar, then leave you feeling sluggish, drained, even interfere with sleep later. One of my patients, Paul, 68, used to choose potato bread because he thought it was light on the stomach. Yet his blood sugar was erratic, even though he didn't eat anything sweet. When we looked at the label, he was stunned by the sugar content per slice. He said, "Doc, I didn't know I was basically eating a sweet bread every morning." Now, imagine this: each morning you eat a slice thinking it's a good choice. But inside your body is battling insulin surges from sugar you didn't even realize you consumed. Over time, your body weakens, you become insulin resistant, and slowly diabetes creeps in. And that's not all. Industrial potato breads often use refined white flour, added starches, virtually no fiber, and very little magnesium or potassium mineral allies that help regulate blood pressure and heart rhythm. Without them, your body's internal clock loses its smooth rhythm. After 60, we don't just eat to feel full, we eat to feel lighter, clearer, and stronger. So I'm not saying eliminate everything, but act with awareness. Read labels. And ask, am I choosing something that truly nourishes me, or just settling for a seemingly safe slice? Nurturing your health doesn't start with grand gestures. It begins with small decisions like the bread you choose in the morning. What are you choosing for your body today? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Have you ever woken up, brewed a cup of coffee, and gifted yourself a soft, sweet pastry, maybe a cinnamon roll croissant or banana bread? It feels gentle on the first bite, sweet, soothing, nostalgic. But I want you to pause and ask, is that fleeting sweetness quietly taking away your long-term health? One of my patients, Carol, she's 67, told me, "Doctor, I don't overeat. I just have a small muffin in the morning." But her labs told a different story. Erratic blood sugar, achy joints, dull skin, restless nights. Let's be real. These sweet pastries with their refined sugars and industrial fats are deceptively cheerful. They often pack a 1-2 punch to your metabolism, blood sugar spikes followed by inflammation. You may not feel it right away, but it shows up in stubborn joint pain, dull skin memory fog, or waking in the night for no reason. Have you ever experienced something like this? The body after 60 becomes really sensitive to sugar, so sensitive that just a few sweet pastries a week can start throwing off your metabolism. Doctors call it metabolic syndrome. And that's the gateway to diabetes, high blood pressure, strokes, and heart disease. I get it. Sweets bring a little joy to the day. But I also know that little joy can come at a price, a sleepless night, aching joints, or lab results that leave you worried. So instead of cutting sweets out completely, try being more mindful. If you're truly craving something sweet, try making your own treats at home. Use oats, ripe bananas, a touch of honey, or blended apples. Or simply enjoy some fresh berries with unsweetened yogurt. You don't have to give up joy. Just choose a version that also loves you back. Because you deserve a later life that isn't just sweet, but light, clear-headed, and truly healthy. What do you think tomorrow morning? Will you swap that pastry for something else? Will you give it a try? Have you ever taken a bite of ultra-soft sandwich bread and thought, wow, that's easy to eat, goes right down, barely need to chew? That feeling is familiar, especially for those of us over 60. It's soft. It's easy. It doesn't upset the stomach. But I'd like you to pause for a second and ask if something is so soft it melts in your mouth. What's really left to nourish your body? One of my patients, Mr. Joseph, he's 72, once told me, "Doc, I only eat white sandwich bread. I stay away from sweets and fried food. So why is my blood sugar still so high?" We took a look at the label, and the answer was crystal clear. Most industrial soft sandwich breads today are made from refined flour, stripped of fiber, and loaded with softeners, emulsifiers, and preservatives to keep them squishy for days. Some even contain propionate and emulsifiers, ingredients currently being studied for their link to gut microbiome imbalance and chronic inflammation. Now picture this. You eat a slice of this seemingly innocent bread, and minutes later, your blood sugar spikes. If you're pre-diabetic or have a history of diabetes, this is especially risky. And the saddest part, that slice gives you almost no real nutrition, no fiber, barely any minerals, virtually nothing to help your digestion, muscle maintenance, or heart health, the things we need most as we get older. I often tell my patients eating at this age isn't about pleasing the palate anymore. It's about feeding your body what it truly needs. That extra soft bread may go down easy, but your pancreas, gut, and heart are paying for it behind the scenes. I know it's hard to change habits, but if you've ever felt sluggish after breakfast, had wild blood sugar swings, or noticed your digestion slowing down, maybe it's time to rethink the loaf sitting on your kitchen counter. Cut to a closing scene. I set down a slice of soft white bread and pick up a slice of hearty whole wheat. A small smile. Soft doesn't always mean gentle. Sometimes the things that feel lightest are quietly draining our strength. Are you nourishing your body or just soothing it temporarily? Share with me, because this journey to health after 60 doesn't have to be a lonely one. I know choosing a loaf of bread might seem like a tiny thing in the chaos of daily life. We walk into the supermarket, head to the bread aisle, glance at the labels, white, brown, soft-seeded, gluten-free, multigrain, and grab whatever sounds healthy enough. But after over 30 years of working with people in their 50s, 60s, even 80s, I've learned something simple, but powerful. It's these tiny choices, like which bread you eat every morning, that silently shape your health for the next decade. One patient, Mr. Thomas, 72 years old, laughed when I asked him about his bread. He said, "I buy that multigrain one, doc. The label screams healthy." But when we looked closer at the ingredients, the first one listed was enriched wheat flour. In other words, refined white flour, not whole grain at all. I told him, what I'll tell you now, learn to read the label. Because not everything that says multigrain or gluten-free is a healthy choice. Look for labels that say 100% whole grain or whole wheat right at the top of the ingredients list. That means you're getting the whole kernel, the bran, the germ, and the endosperm, where all the fiber, vitamins, and antioxidants live. And those flashy words like 7-grain or multigrain. They sound impressive, but if it's just refined flour with a few seeds thrown in, it's not much more than a marketing trick. Worse, many gluten-free breads are made from white rice flour or potato starch, and they spike blood sugar even faster than traditional white bread. That's a recipe for fatigue, sugar crashes, and chronic inflammation, especially after 60. Remember, this good bread isn't just about whole grains. It's about how you combine it in a meal. Toast your slice and pair it with a boiled egg, a few avocado slices, or a spoonful of mashed tofu. These simple additions slow down starch digestion, stabilize blood sugar, and keep you fuller longer. That's the difference between a high-energy morning and just dragging yourself to lunch. And here's the most important thing, the one I repeat to every patient: listen to your body. Do you ever feel bloated, tired, sleepy, or crave snacks for no reason after breakfast? Do your afternoons feel heavy or foggy? Don't rush to blame age. It might just be your body whispering, "This bread, it's not working for me anymore." Health after 50 isn't a lottery. It's a journey of listening closely to small signals and adjusting in time. So tomorrow morning, when you reach for a loaf, let your heart choose with intention. Because that choice isn't just for today, it's for all the years ahead. Are you ready to pick your bread differently? Dear friend, we've just walked through a small journey together, but I hope it's a journey that could spark real change. Because health after 50 isn't built on fancy diets or expensive treatments. It's built on small, repeated decisions, like the bread you choose, how you listen to your body, and the kindness you show yourself through every meal. If there's one thing I hope you remember from today, it's this: every small choice you make for your body is a vote for the life you want to live later on. And please don't forget, you deserve a future that's healthy, clear, and full of energy to do what you love. If this video helped you, share it with someone you care about. A friend, a sibling, a parent, someone who's also facing choices that shape their health. Subscribe if you want more simple, grounded health tips like this. And let me know in the comments, what kind of bread do you eat? Are you ready to make a change? I read every message, and I truly value each one. Until next time, I wish you a light morning and a deeply nourished life from the inside out.